So I feel like once the Raiders start to click, start to do well, win 4 or 5 games in a row, hell, win 7 out of 10 games, looking like a really good team, all of a sudden they start drinking their own Kool-Aid and they Henry Ruggs it into a wall. No pun intended. There's pun intended. But until the Raiders can put together a full 17-game season and not have the peaks and valleys like they do every year, right? What is the stigmatism about the Raiders year in and year out? They're either going to be really good the first half of the season or the second half of the season. They cannot put together a full 17-game schedule. They can't do it. Until then, John, Jim, are you Las Vegas Raiders fans out there? Hope for a winning season. Hope for a second place. Hope for a nice 17-game season or a 17-game season where we just did not suck for 6-7 games in a row. Hope for that. Until then, slow it down, baby. And says as long as Mahomes and Reed is there, they will never be closed, as in their dynasty. I agree. Jameson says the talent in free agency today is mind-blowing. It's all about the mighty dollar bill, y'all. Like, nowadays, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I would love to speak to a NFL player that is getting a nice big deal, like Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. They are all going to get paid Tyreek Hill. Well, he's kind of a bad example. But these players that do not have Super Bowl rings that are getting massive deals, do they really truly care about winning a championship? Now, I do know every year, right, everybody wants to be the last man standing. Everybody's ultimate goal is to put the hardware on their hand, raise the trophy, say we are the best. But at the same time, if I'm getting $100 million and we happen to lose in the first round, darn it. If I'm getting paid $100 million and we happen to go 8-9, darn it. Is the hunger really there for these players that are getting these massive deals in free agency, getting these massive deals on their teams, right? Now, I do know that teams are not making it easy on themselves by paying top dollar for these players like L'Jarius Sneed for 4 years, $80 million. Players see that and players want it, right? I see my boss making high 6 figures at work. I'm like, I want that, right? I mean, like, I'm happy where I'm at. I love my job. I love what I do. My salary is very, very nice. But at the same time, I see like, damn, you make $500,000 a year? You got that nice truck? You got that nice car? I want that. I don't know. Just, yes, the free agency is definitely very crazy. Timothy Mikula. Am I saying your right name? Timothy, is it Nicola or is it Nicola? I think it's Nicola. But he says the Bills should have won the AFC. Why should the Bills won the AFC? The Buffalo Bills got hot at the right time last season. Yes, the Buffalo Bills in 2023 were a sinking ship for the first 10 weeks of the season, 11 weeks of the season. It took an epic collapse of the Miami Dolphins. Let's call it what it is. Sorry, Arthur Brown. Your boys sucked the last 9 weeks of the season. I think they're like 4-7 the last 12 weeks. It's something crazy, right? A below 500 team. The Buffalo Bills went on a stupid run, but they peaked too early. They had to win those 8-9 games in a row just to even make the playoffs. There is such thing as peaking too early, and I think the Buffalo Bills peaked too early when they beat the Miami Dolphins, was it in Miami, to get the second overall seed. It is what it is, right? The new coach in Tennessee says Jamesons are a mystery. The Jaguars are chokers. The Tennessee Titans are a mystery, but they have the most upside of any team in the AFC South, I think. When you look at the Tennessee Titans, they added great parts. Jameson. They've added, like I said, Pollard. They added Calvin Ridley. Will Levis will finally be the starting quarterback. I like what the Tennessee Titans are doing. I like that they moved on from Mike Vrabel, right? Many people were kind of like, well, why are they moving on from him? Yada, yada, yada. Because he kind of reminded me of Marvin Lewis a little bit, right? He was just happy, just being good enough, just getting to the playoffs. Chris, our Titans guy, he does Titans podcast, forgetting the name of it right now, but he was screaming for Mike Vrabel's job all season long. The offense had no rhythm. The defense looked full, right? They looked like a very, very bad team. Somehow they still won games. It was still like somewhat relevant. But the Tennessee Titans might be the biggest mystery on paper and like maybe in real life. But when we see them week 1, we're gonna be like, okay, the Tennessee Titans are the real deal. Will Levis to Calvin Ridley, get used to that. Levis to Ridley. Levis to Ridley. Tony Pollard going to have a nice little bounce back season. They got a nice 1-2 running back punch back there in Tennessee. The Titans are going to be good. And says, nah, for real. You got Xavier Howard, OBJ, Boyd, Stephon Gilmore, Justin Simmons, just to name a few in free agency. Yeah, guys, the free agency is loaded. Not to count that who's the guy from thinking of? But anyways. Timothy Nicholas says they weren't that good on paper.